think as we gather here this evening as Gaels, we should spare our thoughts, reflect for a moment, think about the families of Patrick Grimley, Ciara Grimley, of Kieran Agavana, and Dylan Valley, fellow Gaels, who so tragically lost their lives on the road in recent weeks. I know Paul Hart, principal of St. Joseph Madness, here with us this evening, and also a huge proponent of coming to mBunscol, and he will recognise, and we all recognise, the outpouring, incredible outpouring of support from the GA family for the families who have been so hurt and bereaved. And it's huge pride to be all a part of that GA family. I want to congratulate the pupils for St. Peter's in College Land for their beautiful rendition of the boys from County Armagh and that other song. I recognise the immense pride and passion in this room, and that pride and passion is merited. The brilliant presentation there, Barry, captured pride and passion and joy. Huge pride and passion and joy. And we all feel that as former Come to mBunscol players and coaches involved in Come to mBunscol, you all recognise that pride and passion from those young kids, and you inject that into those young people, and everybody who's involved in that should feel very, very proud. It's great to see such a strong contingent from the Armagh County Board here this evening. Vicky Savage obviously representing Paul McCardle, Paul Duggan, obviously hugely involved with the county board and with Come to mBunscol. Paul, you should be very, very proud. Francis Holloway is here, who's his daughter, former chair of the county board, J.R. Riley, who had a huge impact in modernising Armagh football. Kathleen Woods, what a dent you have made. What a dent you have made. Come to mBunscol in school, you're involved with, and with the Camogie Association. Kathleen, be very, very proud. Be very, very proud. The authors, Joe Lyons and Kieran Crow, be very, very proud of your publication that you've created. Started a chronicle, which is so important at the start of the book. We have also here a very important person to note is Paul Close. Paul Close is a Donovan Rossa GA man at Ferry Antrim Gael, and he is very involved in the Education Authority, and Paul is going to help ensure this book is available to every primary school in our land, because it's such an important chronicle. It should be available to all of our school children. My own reflections in terms of playing and coming to mBunscol, I'll give you some of the coaches. Jim McKearns was my coach in St. Malachy's in Camlock. We played for Lower Clevey against Upper Clevey. It was a cluster of schools. Upper Clevey, we had Tom Mallon's coach, Tom Mallon RIP, great coach, great Gael. His son D. Mallon was the marquee player for that team at the time. Eddie Martin was marquee player as well. I remember playing against those boys. Eddie Martin, the ones who played full back for the Armagh minor team in 1992. Played against Cully Hannon, who the coach was Henry Savage. Des Mackin was playing for Cully Hannon. We all know what Des wanted to do with both minors and seniors for Armagh. Ian McCreesh, another marquee player. I remember playing against Cross Bliain. Washington McConville at that age was a dark destroyer. As well as the red of Anthony Cunningham. We could never forget playing against Anthony Cunningham underage level, that red head, that athleticism. Both boys went on to be hugely successful at club and county level. And they were coached by Eamon Donnelly and Tony Cairns, who's here as well, had a huge impact as well. I want to pay credit to the Come to mBunscol coaches. It's become an integral part of the school, the primary school ethos, as you referenced earlier. And some of those people are Jimmy McKee. I want a bit of interaction from the audience here. I want a bit of a shout out. Jimmy McKee, John Campbell, Sean and Paul Hart, Hugh McCauley, Terry McCann, Collie Bell. I was talking to Collie Bell this evening. I just happened to mention I was going to this event. And Collie Bell was the chairman of Down Coming to mBunscol for years. Obviously, what's an impact Collie has had globally from an Irish perspective, incredible. Paul Loughlin, Paul, what a speech you just made, Paul. That was phenomenal. I should be very proud of the impact you're making, Paul. Unbelievable. Jerry Moan, be very, very proud. Give me a shout out. Who are missing gates? Who are the women involved with the coach? Give me a shout out here, please. Call them out, kids. Call the names of the coaches out. Live interaction here. Let's go. Shout them out. Who are the coaches? Who are the coaches here? Shout them out.
Kevin Kerr here is actually the coach. Remember Kevin?
Who?
Yeah, Kevin Kerr.
Kevin Kerr. Who else? Clinton Burns. Keep going.
Greg McCabe was in our scout today. Excellent.
Greg McCabe. Keep going. Michael Murphy. Come on, keep going.
James McKernan.
James McKernan. Who are the women? Who are the women coaches? Gaelic Matthews. Gaelic McGuinness. Coaches that are here, call their names out. Give me the names.
Cheers.
Here, you should all be very, very proud. And Paul mentioned plant the seeds. I would say native Irish. I remember my first, Oisin Cobble mentioned the Revy Cup. My first experience of the Revy Cup was in Whitecross on a beautiful summer's evening, and the lower Clevey team arrived on a coach. And the fanfare around the team arrived on a coach. It was such a incredible, not ripping out the coach, but for me it was mesmerising. And what I remember about that match was Lower Clevey won the match, but Cahill O'Rourke was playing for Upper Clevey. Cahill O'Rourke, as a primary school player, was scoring 50s. And without Cahill O'Rourke, Armagh would not have won the All-Ireland. What an impact that player had on Armagh football for so many years, and he is an unforgotten player of our All-Ireland success. I'm going to tell a story about what this evening is dedicated to, or who this evening is dedicated, and I think it's very, very fitting that this evening is dedicated to Malik McGeady, and it's wonderful to see both Mona and Maria here this evening. Primary 5, a dark autumn's day, lights were on in the classroom, and a strange man walked into the room. And he walked in with Freddie Frame, RIP, who was the principal, and Master Bradley was the teacher. And the man was Malik McGeady. And he walked into the room and he had a sparkle in his eyes. And I think if you all remember, we call him Malik McGeady, he always had a sparkle in his eyes. He always had such a charisma and such a presence that brought people with him. It was phenomenal gift. He walked into the room and he picked out 4 or 5 players, and me and my twin brother were selected. And we were selected for the trip to Cork. Armagh were playing Cork in the National League, and we all got on the train. My first time on the train, the old carriages, remember the old carriages with the sliding doors? We actually in the carriages. It was just a wonderful experience. And it was 1983 National League. The journey was amazing. There was an incident on the train which maybe I shouldn't reference, but it involved the Judge Kearns and fake banknotes. Judge won't say thank you for telling that story, but the guards were called, I think, poor leash occasion, the guards were called, but me and Judge were still having a real crack with that. But then we arrived in Cork, and my twin brother and I were separated for the first time in our lives. And I went to the Daineen family, and the traditional Cork farmhouse, the traditional Cork farmyard, and we were out, the first thing we did when we arrived was we were taken out into the farmyard to see what I was made of against this young fella, Jared Daineen was his name. And played football out in the back garden, or in the yard with his dad kicking the ball out of the trees to see who was best, you know, and I was obviously supremely better than he was. But I remember the traditional cooking, I remember the inquisitiveness of the family, it was wonderful, and then there was the match the next day. We all went to play the match, and it was nip and tuck, it was cut and thrust, and hugely competitive. I don't recall who won it, but I remember it was my first organised sporting contest. I have very, very strong memories of it. And then the post-match reception, we went back to a local community hall, both teams and all the families. The Cork families, really, many of the Armagh families weren't there because they didn't travel that far in those days with all the things that were happening around us. And it was just a wonderful, warm, welcoming experience and atmosphere, wonderfully positive. And then Sunday was all about Parky Cave and the first visit to a stadium. It was just mesmerising, the haircuts, Jim McKerr's haircut, Joe Kiernan, Paddy Moe's haircuts. Kevin McKinstry, or Colin McKinstry, RAP, and the vibrant orange and the echoes in Parky Cave, it's still with me to this day. It was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And in that moment, in that time, and Paul, you mentioned plant seeds. I'm forever grateful to Malcolm Lee, and I'm forever grateful to Jim Kearns in Malcolm's camp, and I'm forever grateful to the coaches like you coaches in this room. The impact you have on young people, the impact you had on me. And I talked to Paul McGrain about this event, and Paul McGrain, there's no people coming to mBunscol for Paul McGrain or Andrew McCann. They stopped beside each other in Premier 7 and know what they played soccer. But how things have changed, how things are changing, how coming to mBunscol is now an integral part of our Premier School ethos. Is credit to all of the coaches, and credit to the Armagh County Board, with coming to mBunscol hand in glove, and it's been phenomenally positive, phenomenally impactful. And there's been a journey as well, and I do recall the forlorn looks of the girls in the class when the boys were being called out to go and play sports, and they didn't have that chance then, and how we've come along. It was a brilliant journey since then to see Ladies Gaelic Football Association and how it's become one of the fastest growing sport organisations in the world. It is just phenomenal, and credit to again the coaches and to the people involved. But most of all, I want to speak again this evening about Legging Fires and the people in this room over generations have lit fires to so many young people. You've talked about the skill, Paul, and it's not just the skill, it's the skill and the will and the combination and the commitment. And without the commitment of the coaches in this room and the coaches that helped me evolve as a player, and all of the Armagh players that I play with, and all of the champions across this land, wouldn't have happened without the coaches. So I talk about pride and passion. You should all be very, very proud of the passion and the commitment you've made to lighting fires in young people, and keep lighting fires. They're a real admirable.